Every age or body peaks, and when it starts declining, explained. Your body doesn't age all at once. It peaks in pieces. Different systems, different organs, different abilities, each one hitting its prime at a completely different age, and each one starting to slide on its own schedule. Some of what you're about to hear will make you feel surprisingly good about where you are right now. Some of it will hit different. All of it is real. Muscle strength, peak, 25 to 30. Your muscles hit their absolute ceiling somewhere between 25 and 30. This is when your muscle fibers are at maximum density. Your testosterone and growth hormone are still cooperating, and your body's ability to repair micro tears after exercise is running at full speed. Athletes don't peak by accident at this age. Biology planned it. After 30, you begin losing roughly 3 to 5% of muscle mass per decade in a process called sarcopenia. It's slow enough that most people don't notice until their 40s, when suddenly carrying groceries up 2 flights of stairs feels like a different workout than it used to. The good news, resistance training slows this dramatically. Your muscles are still listening. They just need more convincing than they used to. Bone density, peak, 30. Bone density peaks at exactly 30. Before that, your body is constantly depositing more calcium into your bones than it removes. After 30, that equation flips. You're spending more than you're saving. By your 40s, the deficit becomes noticeable. By your 60s and 70s, it becomes a medical conversation. This is why what you eat and how much you move in your 20s genuinely determines what your skeleton looks like in your 70s. Your bones in retirement are being built right now. They don't warn you before they become fragile. They just quietly get there while you're busy doing other things. Cardiovascular efficiency, peak, 20s. Your heart and lungs work together most efficiently in your 20s. VO2 max, which is a measure of how much oxygen your body can use during intense exercise, peaks in your late teens to mid-20s and declines about 1% per year after that. What this means practically is that your 20-year-old self could sustain hard physical effort longer, recover faster, and push further before hitting a wall. By your 40s, the same run that felt manageable at 22 now requires actual effort and an actual recovery day. Your heart hasn't given up. It's just working with older equipment, and it's honest about it. Brain processing speed, peak, 18. This one lands hard. Raw cognitive processing speed, how fast your brain takes in new information, makes connections, and reacts, peaks at 18. 18. Before you've figured out how to do your own taxes or cook a meal that isn't pasta. After that, processing speed gradually declines, though the drop is subtle for decades. But here's the important distinction. Processing speed is not intelligence. Vocabulary keeps expanding into your 60s and 70s. Emotional intelligence peaks in your 40s and 50s. Wisdom, pattern recognition, strategic thinking, these all improve with age. Your brain trades raw speed for depth. It stops being a sports car and starts being something far more useful, a vehicle that actually knows where it's going. Memory, peak, 25, different types peak differently. Memory is not one thing. Working memory, the mental notepad you use to hold information in the moment, peaks around 25 and slowly declines from there. Episodic memory, your ability to recall specific events and experiences, peaks similarly and begins a gradual slide in your 30s. But semantic memory, your store of facts, language, and general knowledge, keeps improving well into your 60s. This is why a 60-year-old doctor knows more than a 25-year-old medical student, even if the student can memorize faster. Experience rewrites the filing system. The files get better even when the filing speed slows down. Immune system, peak, puberty, functional peak, early 20s. Your thymus gland, the organ responsible for producing T cells that fight infection, is most active during childhood and puberty. By your early 20s, your immune system has its largest and most diverse arsenal of defenses. After 25, the thymus slowly shrinks and T cell production decreases. By 70, it's barely functional. This is why children bounce back from illness in 48 hours while adults spend a week on the couch dramatically renegotiating their relationship with soup. Your immune system isn't broken in your 40s. It's just working with a smaller team and less backup than it had a decade ago. Skin peak, mid-20s. Collagen production peaks in your mid-20s and drops about 1% per year after that. Collagen is the structural protein that keeps skin firm, elastic, and smooth. Cell turnover also slows. Your skin used to replace itself completely every 2 to 3 weeks. By your 40s, that cycle stretches to 4 to 6 weeks. Dead cells sit longer. Texture changes. Lines appear. Sun damage accumulated in your teens and 20s starts surfacing visually around 35 to 40, which is the universe's way of delivering invoices with a 15-year delay. Sunscreen in your 20s is not vanity. It's debt management. Flexibility, peak, childhood, usable peak, early 20s. True peak flexibility belongs to childhood, when your connective tissue is still developing and your joints move without complaint. By your early 20s, flexibility has already declined from its absolute ceiling, but remains manageable. After 30, tendons and ligaments begin losing water content and elasticity. Joints stiffen. The morning routine of rolling out of bed and moving like a functional human takes progressively longer. Stretching daily genuinely reverses a meaningful portion of this decline. The people who stay flexible into their 60s and 70s didn't get lucky. They stayed consistent when it was inconvenient. Fertility, peak, early 20s for women, mid-20s for men. Female fertility peaks in the early 20s and begins its most significant decline after 35. Egg quality and quantity both decrease, and the risk of chromosomal abnormalities increases with age. Male fertility peaks slightly later, around the mid-20s, with sperm quality and motility gradually declining through the 30s and 40s. Biology optimized reproduction for a world where life expectancy was 40. Modern life, careers, financial stability, the right partner. None of these were factored into the original design. The biology didn't update when the circumstances did. Psychological well-being, peak, 82. Save the best for last. Life satisfaction and psychological well-being follow a U-shaped curve. High in youth, dipping through middle age, the so-called midlife experience, then climbing again and peaking in multiple large studies around age 82. People in their 80s report higher levels of contentment, emotional stability, and life satisfaction than people in their 30s and 40s. The anxiety about status, comparison, and the future that defines younger adulthood fades. What's left is appreciation, presence, the things that actually matter. Your body is declining in almost every measurable physical way. And yet, you've never been happier. That's not irony. That's the whole point. You're not one thing that peaks and falls. You're dozens of systems on completely different timelines. Some are already past their best. Some are already past their best. Some haven't arrived yet. And the one that matters most, how you feel about being alive, is still on its way up.